So I feel like Vegas overheard me whining about getting woken up by the protesters in Chicago and was like, challenge accepted. How would you like a roller coaster outside your window? Only in Vegas. I went for a safety-focused conference and got the chance to attend an afternoon of panel discussions on the future of vehicles, from safety features to full autonomy. The panelists were from government, engineering, and OEM consulting backgrounds, and it was really interesting to hear perspectives from those angles. Afterwards, I went back to my hotel to jot down my notes, and then decided I better order my Lyft to dinner and take a break from my autonomous vehicle research, because yeah, I am in Vegas. And then it finally happened. The thing I've been waiting for and hoping for and dreaming about. It was finally matched with an autonomous vehicle rideshare.
Yeah, all right.
While I'm researching autonomous vehicles. Epic timing. And luckily for me, Vegas Boulevard was completely gridlocked. So my 2-mile ride down the strip took 30 minutes. They didn't let me video, but the folks from Aptiv, Lyft's autonomous vehicle pilot partner, were really awesome and open to chatting with me and answering all my questions. I wanted to share the highlights that those on the insurance side should know, so today we are talking current and future state of vehicles. The first point that the panel stressed was that there has been very little standardization across safety features as vehicles progress to semi-autonomy. For example, AMCI found a 78-foot difference in braking distance for two systems that were presented as being identical. Most crash safety is self-certified by the manufacturers. And even when you have functionality across makes that is similar, it can be really hard to tell what's what. Collision alert and auto braking alone have 32 different names. This feeds into another core issue that was discussed: understanding. Studies show that most people don't fully understand the features on their own vehicle. And even those that do are often not using them correctly. One of the panelists, an expert in vehicle engineering, admitted that he often turns off his collision avoidance when he goes through drive-thrus and forgets to turn it back on. So there's still a human element here that needs to be addressed, which brings me to the second key point: the human-machine overlap. There's going to be a decades-long overlap where there are both human-operated and machine-operated vehicles on the road. How well will the semi or fully autonomous vehicles interact with the human-powered ones? Obviously, autonomous vehicles know geography. My autonomous Lyft could see literally miles ahead. But what about the human psyche? One question asked was around hand gestures as an example. Will the autonomous vehicle be able to understand when you're giving it the right of way or subtly critiquing its driving skills? The answer was probably not. At least not yet anyway. Some technology proposing to do this has been floated, but not yet proven. Aptiv stressed that their human operators are very alert, always looking out for potentially high-risk human-driver interactions. The second they see a threat, they switch over into manual drive, which they actually have to be in anytime they're on private property as well. So this takes us to the issue of skill atrophy. One of the principles of semi-autonomous vehicles is that the human should jump in when it gets complicated. But is the human going to have the skill set required to jump in during tough driving situations if they're only driving a couple times a year? Driving is a complicated task and a skill set that has to be built and maintained through practice. The overarching theme of the afternoon of discussions was around the current approach to safety and semi-autonomous features. The expectation is that humans must learn to think like a machine. One attendee spoke up during the Q&A and vehemently disagreed with this approach. She said, "I am a human that has been driving as a human for 40 years. I cannot think like a machine. What about me and others like me? How do we fit in this equation?" And the panelists agreed that this is a significant obstacle that must be overcome as vehicle technology progresses. All the stakeholders, the OEMs, the dealerships, the insurers, we can't forget that there will continue to be a human element mixed in with the machines for the foreseeable future. So what does this mean for insurance? It means that we need to accept that safety and autonomous features are an important part of rating and underwriting, but that it's not going to be simple or easy. We need to know what each vehicle is equipped with, but we can't rely on the insured being able to describe them to us. And we can't apply a blanket discount to each feature. The panel talked about many features increasing safety at a high expense. From a claims perspective, this means lower frequency and higher severity. If a safety feature costs more to replace than it prevents in accidents, it's not going to be a net cost savings. Not that it's not a valuable piece of technology because, hello, saving lives, it's just going to be a little more complicated to rate. I think carriers and agents can add a lot of value here, helping insureds understand and assess their risk, as they've done since the dawn of insurance. Another question asked but not answered during the session was, is technology progressing faster than humanity can handle? Which I think is a fascinating and very relevant question. What do you think? Is there such a thing as too much progress too fast? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the Insurance Nerdery for more insurance industry news, trends, and events. AW out. Okay, John, you can keep that outro. I'm just gonna say goodbye, and I will see you next week.
JB out.
It's your story, so frame it how you wanna frame it. I get the picture, but that doesn't mean I gotta hang it. I used to be a Mormon saying